Hey everybody, in today's video we're going to go over changing out the power wire for your main extruder motor on the Dremel Idea Builder. You guys saw my last video, I tried changing out the board to fix a problem I was having with the motors, and that didn't work. And in kind of troubleshooting and playing around a little bit after that video, I realized that the cord that runs from this board, which is under here, up to the actual motor itself had some sort of short in it and needs to be replaced. Dremel actually wouldn't send me this cord. They said it was a legal and safety issue. I guess they're afraid that you're working on the wiring of your printer and gonna burn it down or something. But I was able to find these on Amazon for a set of 4 was like $9, I think. I only need one, but it came in a kit of 4. The only difference with these is you can see here. This plug is the plug that's going to go to the board, and on the original plug it has an end like this, so it slots, see this way, it slots right in like that. But this one is, like I said, it's a different end, but actually it still works. You just don't have, the connection itself is fine, but if you look closely, there is still a little bit, let's see if I get this to focus, there we go. There is still a tiny bit of a gap there, but the cord itself is in there. It's not going to come out, and it will still work this way. So to get this cord out, we're going to have to unplug it from the main extruder motor, which is right here. I've already unplugged it. We're gonna have to fish it out from this guy, and then this guy runs all the way down to, blurry. This guy runs all the way down to the basement, which is behind this thing. There's a little hole that goes down into the bottom part of the printer. So we're gonna have to take off this little sensor that tells the bed when it's all the way up to get the wire out from behind that, and a couple screws in here. There's this little heat shrink piece on here. This will have zip ties on it. I've already cut the zip ties off from playing around and trying to test it out before. This piece holds all these other connectors in there, kind of like that, and then that shrink tubing slides over this metal piece and kind of holds all the wires here. So we'll put those zip ties back in when we're done. See if it fits through the shrink tubing or if we've got to cut it. I've got more if we do have to cut it, but nope, looks like it'll fit. Or get stuck. I just kind of work it through there. There is actually a zip tie under the heat shrink, so we'll cut that as well. And I've not done one of these before, so I'm kind of figuring it out as I go along. If you guys know of a better way, comment down below so that the people trying to do this after me can hopefully have an easier time of it. Let me see, there's a hex head here and then 3 regular screws. So what I'm going to try to do is take 3 of the 4 screws out and just see if I can rotate that piece a little bit. And that's the wrong size bit. And if we can rotate that piece kind of to the side and get the wire out, we won't have to disconnect everything else. cool. Okay, so that screw on the other side is actually just screwed into a standoff, like this. So you can actually just remove the one screw that is not a Phillips screw, and you can get the wire out that way. So it's 3 less screws you gotta take out. Now that we've got that out, we've just popped it out here from the top. We've got this little sensor that tells the bed when it's all the way to the top. See, we've got 2 Phillips head screws here. We're gonna take those off. And then you want to be a little careful because you do have the wire for that sensor coming off the bottom. And then we've got 2 more sets of Phillips screws down here, and I believe there's another set even further down, kind of under the bed tray. So we'll take a look at those once we get there. Alright, that wire on this actually loops around and comes from the top. Just something to be aware of when you go to put it back. So you get the little plastic tab that comes off. Now we can pull our wire out all the way down. Like I said, I believe there is a set of screws. There is down below. So what you can do for that is watch this probe. Make sure you don't jam it in anything, but you can actually twist the screw here and raise the bed so that we can get to that guy. We've got the bed raised up. We've got our 2 screws here that we need to remove, and then this piece, I've got a zip tie down there. And then this piece, all the wiring goes through a hole right here into the little basement area. So we'll take these 2 screws off, and then we will flip this guy over and take the bottom off. I have already unscrewed the bottom of this, I believe. I've already unscrewed the bottom of this. It's like 6 of those Allen screws, just to take the bottom off. So I won't show that part. I've showed it in previous videos if you need to see it. You just want to be careful because there is a wire that connects to the bottom, so you don't want to pull that. Got our screws out, got our wire all the way down. Now we're gonna flip it over. Here we are in the basement. Here's where you can see the black sheathing stuff from up above, where it comes through on the bottom. So I know it is this wire, because I've done some testing to make sure that it was actually the wire. So it's this guy all the way across. So let's see if we can feed this guy out of here. Kind of get it untangled from everything. Alright, so we're out of there. And then we've got several zip ties all across here that we're going to have to cut and put back. When you're doing this, you got to be extremely careful not to nick any of the wires, because then you'll have even more problems than you potentially already are. So there's 3 of these smaller black ones, and then this one big guy. We might be able to feed it through that without cutting it. We'll see here in a minute. Let's get these all out of the way. See if we can get that guy to fit through there. Nope, we're just gonna cut it. So you see the zip tie here. There we go. And this thing should open up somewhere. Looks like it's a nice hinge. It opens here. So that just opens, comes off. Then we've got our wire. See if we can get it. Looks like it's wrapped around another one here. Hold up. It's wrapped through these two. So we'll unplug this orange and green wire. Run it back through. To untangle it. Perfect. I'll put that guy back so we don't forget where it came from. Perfect. So there's our old wire out. Holding both the cables next to each other, our new cable is slightly shorter. But there was a little extra in this guy, so we should still be fine. When you go to plug this in, you'll have a spot here that has the plastic on it, and then you'll have the spot with the 4 contacts on it. You want to make sure that the contacts are kind of facing the board like that, and plug it all the way in. You just kind of do the opposite of everything we just did to put it back. Got it run through our little clip here in the back. You can't really see it, but there's just a plastic piece there that holds the zip tie, so when you tighten it down, it's actually going to pull everything into the frame. Put this guy back on, make sure none of your wires are pinched. Close it back up and sit up here. Whoop. Let that slide down. And then just tighten down your zip tie. Now that we've got everything kind of cable managed and zip tied in here, we want to cut the extra off of all of our zip ties. And now we've got to start running our cable inside the little, I don't know what you call this, but piece that shields it or hides it or whatever we want to call it. So we'll do that, kind of stick it in there, and you can see that I have pulled this piece down a little bit. It was further up, so what we can do now is kind of push this back through, and that'll give us access to this, and we'll be able to pull this through once we get to the other side. I'm going to try to push our end through separately and see if we can get that through there as well. It's a narrow spot, so I can't really get my fingers in there, but the screws are, so I've got the top through. And what we'll do is we'll pop this back up and then just pull everything, all this through. We'll put the bottom back on while we're here. Careful again not to pinch anything. Alright, here's our end. You can see it down in there, so pull that all the way out. Very carefully. Sorry about my elbow. There we go. So what we're going to want to do is push this into this black, like I said before, I'm not 100% sure what it's called, as we work our way backwards and put back all of our pieces holding that was holding everything in. And now that we're up here, I'm realizing this is even shorter than I thought it was. I was able to go on Amazon and I found actually the cord with the correct connectors that is actually slightly longer than this one, which is the factory one. So I will link that one down below so you can get that one instead. I'm going to finish putting this together like you would with that one because it'll be the same process at this point. The only thing that will change was we'll have the correct connector at the bottom. And normally you would want to run this through the shrink tubing, but I'm not going to do that either just because obviously this isn't going to be long enough to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it out of this guy and just run it by itself like that. You'll obviously want to run it in here when you get the correct one. And I would suggest putting a zip tie over this shrink wrap here to kind of hold all this stuff together. Make sure all these connectors in here are in, there's a little cutout for them that it's probably going to be hard for you guys to see on the camera, but just make sure all those are in the correct spot. Tighten that guy up. Oop, stay. Then again, cut the extra off. Finish putting everything back in here. And this is going to go over that, like so. Kind of wrap this around. And then one more zip tie here. Now let's see if it works. See, we don't have the clicking anymore. And it's feeding the filament. So we're good. Alright, as you can see, we've got it printing again. It was about a $8 part. Instead of having to send it into Dremel, they originally wanted me to ship it to them. Shipping just to send it to them was about $120 for me, plus another whatever the parts they were going to charge me. Luckily they were able to work with me and kind of narrow down what the issues were, what they could possibly be, so that's why I tried changing out that board and then now the power cable. Everything you will need, the power cable will be linked down in the description. Like I said before, that is a associate link to Amazon, so I do get a small amount back from that. It helps out the channel, and I appreciate if you guys use it. My Amazon store link is also down there, so if you need to buy anything else and you use that, it helps out quite a bit. Thank you guys for watching. If you've got any questions about this project, please leave them down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.